Hey everyone, Zero and Disney here. It is Saturday, and I'm not working. So, what we're going to do is, we're going to talk some NXT and Smackdown, of course. NXT had its 200th episode this past week, and Smackdown was just last night. So, I have notes on both, and we're going to talk about them like we always do here. But first, a little housekeeping, as always. So, right off the bat, I'm going to apologize. I'm sorry for what happened last night. AJ wasn't feeling the greatest, so we had to postpone the plan. We did watch American Hustle, and that recap is coming. And we did get about an hour into Saving Mr. Banks before AJ just had to give it up, given the fact that he was about to pass out, basically. He doesn't sleep very much, so because of that factor, we had to corral the plan for an extra day. So today, in about an hour, I'm actually leaving to the theater, and we're going to do the same plan that I've talked about on my Twitter account, which is American Hustle, Saving Mr. Banks, and Walking with Dinosaurs, and then we are going to be recapping the video. It will go up on this channel, along with Blue is the Warmest Color. So those three and Blue is the Warmest Color will be coming to pop either tonight or tomorrow night, just kind of depends. Either way, what I'm doing right now is I'm filming this video because this will be your Saturday video regardless, and we still got a Versus coming up tomorrow, so yeah, gonna be really good right now. So, it is officially the first day of the Comedy Warehouse returning to Hollywood Studios. Obviously, I'm kind of sad, for sure, because I'd like to be there. I'd love to be able to see all my friends from the Comedy Warehouse, but unfortunately I'm here. So, because of that fact, I hope everyone has great shows in the next several weeks, and hopefully someday Disney management will get it through their heads that what needs to happen is Comedy Warehouse needs to return permanently to Hollywood Studios. I'm not exactly sure where. I mean, Sounds Dangerous would probably be a good spot. The problem with it is the theater is kind of small. Premiere Theater is perfect. The issue there is that's where they also do the premieres. It's obviously where I watched Saving Mr. Banks twice. And where they did, like, previews, like The Lone Ranger, like when they did, like, they showed elongated clips and trailers for the movie. They do that at Premiere Theater, and that's where Comedy Warehouse is actually at in about 45 minutes is the first show, actually. It's 12:45. So, you can check out Comedy Warehouse. If you see this video, get to it. A lot of really awesome talent. Some you remember from the Comedy Warehouse, some new to the Comedy Warehouse, so it's going to be really awesome. Improv comedy at its best at Walt Disney World, as it belongs. So, I'm not bitter about that. Oh yeah, I kind of am, and I really wish I could be there right now, but unfortunately I'm stuck here. But I'm stuck here because I have to make money in order to come back on September 19th next year, which supposedly will be the opening night for Halloween Horror Nights 24, and this is a big hodgepodge of a video. You're getting a lot of information in this housekeeping segment here. Basically, what I found out is something that I pretty much have predicted since day one. There's three things on the wire right now. Numero uno, Insidious is the first house that will be announced for Halloween Horror Nights 24. Yes, I knew when Hollywood got it that it was just a matter of time before we got the house. And I hate the first movie. The second one's actually pretty good. So, apparently what it's going to be is a combination of the first and second movie with scenes as well that were created by Universal A&D. And obviously, they're going to get James Wan in on this as well because that's just how it works. Second piece of information is another thing that they were trying for this year for Halloween Horror Nights that is going to absolutely come out next year is going to be American Horror Story. And American Horror Story will be coming to Halloween Horror Nights as of this moment. That's a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not. It's just a rumor. It's speculation, folks. And with AMC having fights with the creator of The Walking Dead, we may not see The Walking Dead return to Halloween Horror Nights. I know that would make a lot of people happy, but the general public may not like that given the fact that they love The Walking Dead. So, that's the second piece of info. One more piece of info is this and this only. If you've been to Grinchmas this year, and I'm sure a lot of you have, and if you haven't seen Grinchmas this year, there's a video on this very channel that will soon be put in a playlist that says Universal Orlando December 2013 of Grinchmas this year, and I will I'll put that all on a playlist very soon. I haven't got a chance to do it yet. I've had no downtime, so given this fact I haven't had any downtime, I haven't done it yet, but I will do it very soon. Once I'm doing that, it'll be on that playlist, but if you want to seek it out, in the last 2 weeks, when I was home, obviously, you had a lot of Disney content, a lot of Universal content, and even though it got me a little bit of heat, a lot of SeaWorld content, and there's actually still more of that to come. But we'll put that out later. We'll talk about SeaWorld a little bit later on. I'm not going to put that on a housekeeping. We're actually going to talk about it later. Excuse me. It's the weird weather temperature. It's raining now. It's really strange. So, the third piece of information, like I said, I'm bringing up Grinchmas. The person that is portraying the Grinch right now. This is a concrete rumor. I know that sounds really strange to say it that way, but it is a rumor and a rumor only. But there should be a lot of weight to it. The man that is playing the Grinch right now, who you can see in out of the makeup during the Grinchmas part of Mannheim Steamroller, if you get a chance to see them, which is also on this very channel as well. It was actually on the front page for a bit, but it was like for a day or so till I got AJ's movie review up from yesterday. But that gentleman has been contracted, supposedly, to be playing Jack the Clown in a brand new... Well, they're saying it's a show, but I'm not exactly sure. I mean, the only option I would see for a Jack show would be, I would say, maybe horror makeup, potentially, which I don't see it used for Horror Nights very much because horror makeup works really well for it, but it's a nice intimate setting. 2, which would be Barney. Barney's got a nice setup for it. It worked really well because it'd be right up in your face. The problem is, usually they use that at least as a pass-through to get to one of the sprung tents, like they did this past year with La Llorona. So, that probably is out. And we all know Bill and Ted is going to be back at Fear Factor Live, so the only option is to put it in the Animal Actors Theater, which would be really interesting. There is one more option, and that's Terminator, but I don't know if they're going to use that or not. I guess they could. They want a bigger space, and they want a less intimate experience. You want like a more of a stage show. I would put it in Terminator, to be totally honest. So there's a lot of options you could put Jack the Clown if you're going to bring him back. And the success of the Uni Mini and the Uni Mini pin that sold out so quickly that I didn't get a chance to get either one of them. So I'm going to have to eBay that up in the next couple of weeks or months, depending on if I can find a cheap one. Sorry, I'm broke right now, as you know. But the thing about it is since he's so popular, it's the perfect time to bring him back. So will Jack come back at Halloween Horror Nights 24? We'll see. So that's just speculation at this moment. So, like I said, we talked about that. We talked about the movie reviews. Oh yeah, by the way, the plans changed a little bit. So tomorrow we're going to be filming the new Versus. That's actually going to be out on Sunday. It'll be out probably later on Sunday because I actually have to work 9 to 5. So, as soon as I get back from work, I'll come back here, we'll shoot the Versus, and I'll get it out as soon as I can. So, that's pretty much a guarantee. Sunday night's also the WW Today live podcast, the first one since Reunion. I will definitely be joining all my friends in the live chat room, like I always do. And then Monday is Festivus, of course, and Festivus brings Dallas Buyers Club and Philomena in Athens, so that's going to be taken care of. So the Raw recap will probably get up Tuesday morning, if I had to guess. Tuesday I actually worked 3 to 9 for Christmas Eve, so I don't know what I'm doing after that. Probably maybe sleeping, maybe getting some stuff done. Christmas Day, of course, 12 to 6, my work schedule. Wolf of Wall Street at 6 o'clock. Really looking forward to that. And the day after Christmas, tentatively speaking, we will be doing 47 Ronin and The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. So after a Wolf of Wall Street, it's going to be Grudge Match. So that's the plan right now. And then we're going to shoot those videos out to you guys. And don't forget, next weekend, the final Academy Awards prediction video of 2013. A lot of things have changed in mine. Probably a lot for AJ as well. So we're going to get that out to you guys as soon as possible, along with another Oscar-themed Versus that we've been wanting to do for a long time. So that's coming next week. But without any further ado, let's talk about NXT's 200th episode. And just like Tensai said on commentary, who's actually really good on commentary, mind you, that is basically a little bit under 100 episodes that were filmed at Full Sail University in Orlando. So that's pretty awesome. And how does the show start? How do you kick off the 200th episode of NXT? Triple H comes out, and he cuts a very babyface promo. Basically, the fans were chanting for him, and Triple H got the crowd to chant NXT, which worked really well. Obviously, got to put over the brand. Excuse me. This is the 200th episode, and he calls out a lot of the NXT talent that has come through is now on the main roster, like Damian Sandow, who got kind of a bad reaction. Antonio Cesaro, who got a huge pop. The Shield got a huge pop, as well as the Wyatt family got a huge pop. And then the fans started chanting 5, which of course meant that they were talking about the current and reigning WWE Intercontinental Champion Big E Langston, who is the second NXT champion. There's only been 3 in the history of the company: Seth Rollins, Big E Langston, and now currently Bo Dallas. So, obviously they didn't mention other people that came out of NXT. Obviously you can't mention Fandango because he was Johnny Curtis in NXT. And you don't want to talk about Curtis Axel because he was Michael McGillicuddy in NXT. And there's a lot of other superstars that have come through the NXT doors on their way to the main roster. So Triple H is putting that over, and he says he promises it's just going to get better and better. This is NXT, and NXT is where the future begins. I like that. That's actually a good tagline for NXT. He wants to thank everybody at Full Sail, wants to thank the boys in the back, wants to thank all the crew and everything, but no, he above all wants to thank the fans. So he gets the fans to stand up, and they basically do an ovation for themselves, and then he cuts a DX-esque "Are You Ready?" and that starts the show. So a great way to start off the show, actually. Really made the NXT brand episode 200 sound really important. It made it feel important because Triple H comes out, and later on the show, Howard Finkel was the ring announcer for the main event. So we get to our first match, and it is a tag team match set up. Obviously, I was gone for 2 weeks, did not do 2 weeks of NXT. In September, I was gone for 2 weeks, did not get 2 weeks of NXT. Might have been 3 weeks, actually, because I was gone from September to October in NXT. So I missed probably those. So we get Sami Zayn and Tyson Kidd in tag team action against Leo Kruger and Antonio Cesaro. This match was really good to start off the show. Really hot crowd, actually. Really wanted to cheer for Sami Zayn. Really wanted to cheer for Antonio Cesaro. It's really interesting because NXT is the land where babyface and heel does not matter. As a matter of fact, the heels get just as big of a pop as the baby faces do, and vice versa, which is really interesting because people like Tyler Breeze and Antonio Cesaro, Leo Kruger, I mean, these are heels by and large, but they get huge reactions from the NXT crowd. It's nice because the Full Sail University crowd are most likely locals, so basically they've grown accustomed to these superstars. They may or may not know them outside of wrestling. It's possible. That's how it worked with the Impact Zone back in the day. So many regulars there. So they have grown to love these heels and boo the baby faces. It's not exactly like that. It's basically just love the heels and love the wrestlers in general. It doesn't matter if they're bad or good. It matters that they are great at what they do. So this starts the show off, and this match was really good. Right away, there's a roll-up on Kruger, 1-2, and a kick-out by Tyson Kidd. And Tyson leaps in the air and gets caught going for the tag to Sami Zayn, and he gets planted with a huge spine buster from Leo Kruger, 1-2, and a kick-out. So he's tagging Antonio Cesaro. Cesaro comes in, hits the Swiss uppercut, and the deadlift into the side salto, 1-2, and a kick-out. Locks on the chin lock, and Tyson elbows his way out. Cesaro ends up tagging Kruger in. They work him over momentarily, and there's another back tag to Cesaro. They double whip and double back elbow, 1-2, and a kick out. So Cesaro goes back to the chin lock on Tyson again. Tyson again elbows his way out, and there's a double whip, and they low bridge Kruger, so he goes over the top rope to the floor, and Cesaro misses a big splash in the corner. He finds nothing but turnbuckle. Tagging a Kruger, and Kruger basically grabs the foot to try to stop Kidd from making the tag. Tyson with a forward roll and hot tags Sami Zayn. Zayn comes in, 2 big clotheslines. high leg lariat, and he knocks Cesaro off the ring apron with the running boot for good measure. So he ducks a clothesline, and he charges in, gets the boot up, and he's on the middle rope at this point. He leaps up to the top, nails the flying body press, 1-2, and a kick out. So he charges in, and Kruger gets the knee up, and it looked vicious. Goes for the slice, gets countered into the Blue Thunder driver, 1-2, and a kick out. So Cesaro makes the save right at the kick out. Tyson Kidd hip tosses Cesaro to the top rope to the floor. He nails a somersault tope on Cesaro. And in the ring, Kruger is slumped in the corner and charge in from Sami Zayn. The Olay kick, 1-2-3, and Sami Zayn and Tyson Kidd win the opening match. So a good back and forth match to start off the show, and still has more build towards the storylines that we've been seeing so much, like Kruger getting the win over Sami Zayn last week, which I unfortunately didn't get to talk about because I wasn't seeing NXT last week because I was home, obviously. But when it comes down to it, it works really well, and everyone wants to see Sami Zayn in the NXT Championship picture. And in 2014, unless he is brought up to the main roster, which I'm pretty positive he will be before the year is over, I would say he has a run in him as champion. Will he be the one to take Bo Dallas off the top of the mountain? I think that's a very good possibility. And you always have to build that and build that and build that. Because this pretty much is the end of Bo Dallas and Adrian Neville. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, Natalia's watching Tyson Kidd's match, obviously. And Emma shows up and pretty much calls her a reality television star, said she's changed, and said she doesn't really care about anything anymore. And then basically, Natty turns it around on her and says, you know what, you won this contendership in a silly dance-off. Emma takes offense to this and says, dancing isn't silly, and I have dancing in my blood. And Natty's like, well, that's funny, because I have wrestling in my blood. So pretty much they set up a match for later down the road between Emma and Natty, which is fine, and I think it'll work really well, to be totally honest. Speaking of the NXT Women's Championship, the NXT Women's Champion is in a non-title match next. Paige taking on Sasha Banks, of course, with Summer Rae in her corner. It was okay. Wasn't great. 3 big clotheslines, drop kick off the ropes. This is basically Paige's comeback in the middle of the match. She comes off the ropes, Summer Rae with a trip, and this allows Paige to get her attention diverted momentarily. Sasha charges with the boot, and Paige out of the way. She kicks Summer Rae in the face, and she transitions into a backslide, which turns into the Paige Turner, and 1-2-3, Paige wins. Sasha's alright in the ring. I really think there's money to be made eventually down the road with doing Paige versus AJ Lee at NXT. Even if AJ wins, which I'm sure she will, I would think that it would be a great idea to have Paige start facing off against the WWE Divas. And I think it'd be a great feather in her cap when she beats some of them. Like she can beat Natalya, that'd be fine. I mean, she could beat Alicia Fox, obviously. She's nothing. So, she's a WWE diva, that's pretty much all she has. And you build this by having Tamina Snuka lose to Paige. And that brings AJ to NXT, and then AJ and Paige have a title versus title match, which ends in a schmoz, and then they end up doing Paige versus AJ for the WWE Divas Championship, and you have Paige win by DQ or something like that with Tamina interfering. And you could set up a tag match that way with Natty or Brie Bella. You can do it that way since they're pushing Brie Bella and AJ somewhat. Either way, Paige and AJ Lee needs to happen in at least one form or another in 2014. I'm pretty positive it's going to. And that's the right direction to go. It really is. So, the Ascension keeps making these open challenges, and they're challenging any team in the world. Well, their match is up next, so I'm going to talk about it right now. So the Ascension make a challenge to any team in the world to come to NXT and face them. Not in a title match, mind you, but a non-title match. And their opponents in this match, well, I'll WWE it first, and I'll break it down for you guys. It's the American Pitbulls. For the ones that don't realize who I'm talking about, the challenge is accepted by the American Wolves, Davey Richards and diehard Eddie Edwards. So, this former Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, obviously. And they're now going by the names of Derek Billington, which of course is a nod to the Dynamite Kid, and that's for Davey Richards, and John Cahill, who is Eddie Edwards. Which is interesting, because I don't know where John Cahill comes from. I know that Derek Billington is a tribute to the Dynamite Kid, given the fact that some of the reports call them the American Bulldogs, which I think would have made more sense, to be totally honest, especially if they're going to call him Derek Billington. I would think that they would call them the American Bulldogs, because we had the British Bulldogs, now we have the American Bulldogs. That would make total sense. Then again, you get them confused with the Stampede Bulldogs, which are Tyson Kidd and David Hart Smith, or Davey Boy Smith Jr., as now he's being known in Japan. So, you got this right here. And they accept the challenge, and it's really interesting because some of the crowd somewhat know what's going on. Obviously, there's been a lot of ROH, and like they did the stuff at the Tampa Fairgrounds, and they've done a lot of shows in Florida. So, needless to say, a lot of the crowd do know who Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards are. And for those of you that don't know who Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards are, number one, I don't know why you'd be watching this video, but I would say that you would think that this is just living in WWE land. So, in that case, you need to go to YouTube after you've watched this video, and I want you to check out some Ring of Honor matches with Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards. Trust me, it's worth your while. Believe me, it is. One of the top tag teams in the world. And it's funny because they just left Ring of Honor, so it's basically like they had a PWG show last night, and Davey Richards lost to Johnny Gargano. And after the match was over, he got on the mic and basically said that he's going to Orlando. Well, obviously that means that he's going to go to the Performance Center and start with NXT Developmental. But TNA is now back with Orlando at Universal, so it pretty much makes you wonder if it's going to be either WWE or TNA, given the fact that TNA has got their sights set on bringing Roderick Strong back to the fold, who is another former Ring of Honor champion. So, another person that Davey Richards knows very well. So maybe, just maybe, that may happen. Who knows? No knowledge of what's going to happen to Eddie Edwards, though. I guess we'll find out. Are they going to be with NXT? If they're going to be John Cahill and Derek Billington, that's fine, I guess. But it's going to take a bit to get used to those names. I really don't like the way that NXT selects their names. Derek Billington makes sense because it's a shout out to the Dynamite Kid. But John Cahill, that sounds like a writer. I'm pretty sure it is, actually. So, basically, we have like a nice back and forth match, and the American Wolves hit the double Japanese arm drag, and they low bridge, sends Victor over the top rope to the floor, and Connor catches Derek with a flapjack, tagging to Victor. Victor comes in with a European uppercut, and they blow a spot, which really sucked, but they kind of covered it up somewhat well. It's the backdrop suplex when they do the backflip, float over, lands on their feet, and then the babyface takes over. Well, this time what happened was they did the backdrop suplex, and somehow the streams got crossed, and he landed on his head. So he ducks the enziguri kick and hits the Rob Van Dam style spinning back kick. Tagging to Cahill, he comes in with two double elbows, charges in, modified Shining Wizard, and Connor makes a save. So they low bridge Connor, send him over the top rope to the floor. They backdrop Victor over the top to the floor. Stereo topes by the American Wolves, and the Ascension are down. So they toss him back in, 1-2 and a kick out, and he goes up top for the diving headbutt, the swan dive headbutt. Since, of course, it is Derek Billington, a nice shout out to the Dynamite Kid. 1-2, Victor kicks out, so he ducks the clothesline. A high knee by Victor, ends it right there. Fall of Man, 1-2-3, and Ascension win this contest. So after the match is over, Unico and Camacho come out, and basically they show that they are the next contenders. And the Ascension add more insult to injury. They destroy with another Fall of Man as well. So, interesting. Very interesting. Match could have been a lot better, but it was okay for what it was. It was a serviceable TV match. And we're still building towards Unico and Camacho. which I'm not exactly sure if that's going to work or not, given the fact that Unico is Sin Cara now, and Camacho is on NXT. So there's a lot of directions you can go with that, so who knows? So we'll talk next week. Next week, we're going to talk about NXT and the superstars that have come through NXT. Basically like a full show about it. Now, Kofi Kingston's in the back, and he's basically cutting a promo, and he gets interrupted by Lana. Lana, of course, speaks in Russian, and Kofi's like, I don't understand a word you just said. And she's like, okay, fine, let me break it down for you. On the behalf of Alexander Rusev, I'm making a challenge. Rusev will break you next week. Kofi basically says that I accept the challenge. So next week we get Kofi Kingston against Alexander Rusev, which is fine because I like Rusev and I really think that he's going to shine in this match against Kofi. Kofi will make him look $1 million, like he does already. And next week we get a match I've been waiting forever for. If you remember the William Regal Dean Ambrose match over the summer, which how brutal and violent it was, you want to see a pure wrestling clinic, a vicious wrestling clinic. You're going to see next week on NXT William Regal and Antonio Cesaro, and my God, that match is going to be awesome. So, main event time. Like I said, Howard Finkel comes out, and he is the official ring announcer, and they do the boxing style in-ring introductions, and the Lumberjacks surround the ring. While I was gone, while I missed a lot of NXT recaps, who are these people? I see Tyler Breeze, and I don't know anybody else. And that's bad. Main event time, NXT Championship on the line. Bo Dallas defending against the man that gravity forgot, Adrian Neville, in a lumberjack match. So that's how we end this 200th edition of NXT. So a whip-in, charges in, and boot up sends Bo Dallas down, and 3 stiff kicks to the chest by Neville. And he goes for the 4th, the buzzsaw kick, the Daniel Bryan spot, and he gets dumped to the floor. This allows Neville to get tossed in, but not before he slaps Tyler Breeze in the face when he tries to take him in the ring twice. So Breeze goes down. He's basically clutching his face the entire duration of the match. This sets up, obviously, the end, because that's how it works. It's wrestling logic, duh. There's got to come back into this. So repeated knee drops, 1-2, and a kick out. Goes for the cravat. He locks it in, and a punch out by Adrian Neville, and a big scoop slam. Back kick by Neville, and Bo kicks him in the knee, and then kicks him in the side of the head, makes a cover 1-2, and Adrian Neville kicks out. So, a short arm elbow on 3 separate occasions, and then nails the short arm clothesline 1-2, and the champion makes a cover, but Neville again kicks out. So he goes for the swinging Bodog, and he gets thrown off, and this allows for kicks to the hamstring, repeated kicks to the hamstring by Adrian Neville, and he comes off the ropes after ducking Bo Dallas' clothesline, nails the flying forearm, then he hits another one, and then a spinning back kick, and the seated drop kick to the side of the head, off the ropes, 1-2, and Bo Dallas again kicks out. So he charges in, Bo nails him with a back elbow, and he charges in again. Neville nails him with a drop salt, and enziguri kick, and he is down at this point. Standing shooting star press, 1-2, and Bo Dallas again kicks out. Fans are really getting into the match at this point, thinking that Bo Dallas' title reign is in serious jeopardy, and at this moment it is. Big scoop slam, he goes up top, and Bo smartly rolls to the floor because we all know what was coming next, and that would be the Red Arrow. And this allows for Bo Dallas to get landed on with a tope con hilo, which nails all the men except Tyler Breeze. I wonder where he is. Is he going to be in the finish? Let's see. So he tosses him in, he goes up top, and Tyler Breeze has the referee distracted. He goes up top for the Red Arrow, and when he leaps off the top rope, Tyler pulls Bo out of the way. Bo rolls him up 1-2-3, and Bo Dallas retains the NXT Championship. So we have now started a new feud to go into 2014 with Adrian Neville and Tyler Breeze. And given the fact of these two in the ring together, I have zero problems with this. I think it's going to work really well, and I think it's going to be a really good feud to kick off 2014. Bo Dallas still on a collision course eventually with Sami Zayn. So you have Sami Zayn and Bo Dallas. You have Adrian Neville feuding with Tyler Breeze. Obviously, the feud with CJ Parker is now over. Alexander Rusev is looking to just demolish anybody in his path, and it's going to be interesting to see who comes to take him down. So there's a lot of things coming up. And then you've got... There was like a spot earlier on in the show, and Aiden English was practicing his singing, and of course... Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore are chatting in the background, and they pretty much set up a match there. So we're going to get Colin Cassidy against Aiden English somewhere down the road too, so that's fine. And interesting to see what happens with these other superstars around the ring that I've never seen before, so yay! So NXT 200 was awesome, really enjoyable show. I will say right now, if you can check out the opening match, you can check out the Lumberjack match, and if you can check out the Ascension against the American Wolves, or American Pitbulls, sorry, I gotta get used to that, I would say that do yourself a favor and do that. A lot of storyline continuity, and like I said, I'm pretty sure we're going to see Paige against AJ Lee in 2014, and that is the right thing to do. So, let's talk SmackDown, shall we? So, yay, SmackDown starts out with the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. God, that's a mouthful. The Viper, Randy Orton, comes out. He says he beat John Cena to become the first ever WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And the next night, they force him to face Daniel Bryan. And John Cena came out, saved the day when I was about to beat Bryan, and he says, I left Cena laying right beside Bryan in the center of the ring. I'm the champion of champions, I just don't give a damn. John Cena comes out, of course. Cena says, I can basically get stopped in his tracks when Orton goes, I can feel your jealousy, John. Recognize this is my spotlight now. So Cena says, I'm just out here to stop you from being a damn fool. You got your wish. You're our champion. You're now the face of the company. Everybody's watching you, which means you got a giant bullseye on your back now. How do you want to be remembered? You want to be the champion of champions, or you want to be a coward like you were on Monday Night on Raw? Bryan won by disqualification. You didn't win. Facts are facts. You were a real man for one night at TLC, and you turned it all around the next night. You took the easy way out, the coward's way out. Orton says Bryan doesn't deserve a rematch, and for that matter, Cena doesn't deserve to be in the ring with Orton. So Daniel Bryan comes out and he says, I get it. I get why you did what you did, Randy, but you know, the only reason why you won't face me, you won't give me a rematch, because simply put, you realize a simple truth, that you're not better than me. You don't deserve to be called the champion. But it's okay, I've grown to accept that. I know when John Cena gets his rematch, he's going to beat you, and then I'll get my fair shot at the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Basically, Orton says he's the only true face of the WWE, and Bryan says, are you, Randy? Really? No. Fans start chanting no. The Shield come out. Cena and Bryan prepare for a fight. They go back-to-back, and CM Punk's music hits. He runs out, so of course, you know we're getting a six-man. Predictably, Vicky comes out and makes a six-man for your main event. So your main event's going to be the Shield against John Cena, Daniel Bryan, and CM Punk. I have zero problems with this. It's a great main event. But obviously, you know something's going to happen. Opening match of the evening, non-title match. Biggie Langston, your current reigning and defending WWE Intercontinental Champion, taking on Jack Swagger. So Swagger comes out with Zeb Coulter and Antonio Cesaro. Zeb gets sign of the night without any question. Basically, it says, deport Santa Claus is the first sign. And the sign at ringside is Santa is a legal immigrant, which is funny to me. So, Biggie traps him with the headbutts, and Whip-In charges in, catches the back elbow, and Swagger goes for the diving clip to the knee, and he DDTs the knee to track the legs out from the big man. So, the charging knees in the corner, Swagger working him over. Short arm clothesline, 1-2, Biggie kicks out. So, front face lock is applied, and a side bear hug is locked on as well. Belly-to-belly suplex gets out of the maneuver. Clothesline, charging shoulder in the corner on Swagger. And the big splash to the lower back. Cesaro jumps up on the ring apron and he drops off. Mark Henry flattens him on the floor. This allows for a big clothesline on Swagger. Drops the straps. Big ending. 1, 2, 3. Biggie Langston wins this match. So yeah. Okay. Kind of a squash match on Swagger. It was okay. No problem. still continue this mentor relationship between Mark Henry and Big E Langston. So I don't have a problem with that as well. So Cesaro didn't look bad at this because he didn't really do anything. He just pretty much just got pulled off the apron, and that was it. Langston needed to win this match, and Big E beating a former World Heavyweight Champion, even though that it's pretty much glossed over the fact Swagger is a former World Champion, is actually a pretty big feather in his cap, even though the way that Swagger has been booked in singles matches in 2013. So we get our next singles match, Brie Bella taking on Tamina Snuka. Of course, this was set up by Tamina's nasty, nasty savate kick on Nikki Bella on Raw Monday night, which I actually got to see finally, and dear God, the thing looks stiff. So we go midway through the match, Tamina with a big scoop slam, drags Brie to the floor, not to the corner, to the floor, just for fun, and rams her back first into the ring apron, drags her in, makes a cover, 1 count only, Brie kicks out. So comes off the ropes, knee drop, 1 count only. So a chin lock and a backdrop, lands on her feet, does Brie, drop toe hold, and then the running knee strike while she's laying across the middle and bottom ropes, as usual. 2 big drop kicks, she shoves her off, charges in, gets the boot up, and I would call it the Brie mode drop kick, which is a missile drop kick off the middle turnbuckle, 1-2 and a kick out. So she gets shoved off yet again, and Tamina flattens her with the savate kick, 1-2 and a kick out. Goes up top for the Superfly Splash, and Brie gets the knees up, rolls her up in a modified inside cradle, 1-2-3. After the match is over, Brie gets up in AJ's face, who's on commentary during this whole match, and shoves her aside, basically pie faces her to the ground, and we set up more heat between the Bellas and AJ and Tamina. So, again, you're building up more heat between Brie Bella and AJ after you did the AJ and Natty deal earlier. Now you've got Brie and AJ again. So it's pretty much every person in the Total Divas roster wants to take the Divas Championship off of AJ Lee. AJ's about to be the longest reigning Divas Champion in company history very soon. So it'll be interesting to see where we go from there. So we get another match here, and I'm going to coin a new term on this channel that hopefully you guys will steal, because it is gold, Jerry, gold. Drew McIntyre, 3-man band, taking on Sin Cara. And from this moment forward, Sin Cara will hereby be known as Unacara. So, Unacara, because it's Unico under the mask, you can tell by the freaking tattoo, obviously. And that's the reason why Unico is wearing a little bit more of protection on his chest when he did the walkout in the end of the Ascensions match with the American Pitbulls on the NXT 200 episode, which I just recapped a little bit ago. So, Sin Cara, or Unacara in this case, with a tope con hilo on Drew McIntyre, toss him back in. Springboard flying body press, 1-2, Drew kicks out. So Drew hangs Unacara out to dry. Leaping stomp on 2 separate occasions. Whip in, charges in, catches the back elbow, and charges in, lands on the top rope. Arm drag, and satellite head scissors takeover. Whip in, reverse, handspring back elbow, somewhat. 1-2, and Drew kicks out. So charges in, and gets backdropped over the top rope to the apron. High kick, goes up tops, nails the Sin, S-I-N, Ton Bomb, and 1-2-3. Unacara wins this match. So yeah, not really a back and forth match. Kind of a one-sided squash for Unacara in this match. I had no problems with it. It was okay if you're going to keep building him. You had him beat Alberto Del Rio twice. This is definitely a brand new Unacara, and JBL is the Captain Obvious in this case. When he does on commentary, basically says, it seems like a brand new Sin Cara there. Yeah, no doubt, JBL. So yeah, there we go. Who knows what's going to happen with Unacara in 2013. We're still building towards that match with Rey Mysterio or WrestleMania, which they're talking about doing. Don't know how you're going to get there right now. You're really going to have them interact with the Royal Rumble, have them eliminate each other. Bing, bang, boom, you got your WrestleMania match. That's what I would do. So, we get our next match, of course, on Raw, which I didn't get to talk about. We had the breakup of Tons of Funk, and Brodus Clay calling himself a main event player. I kind of find that funny. Taking on Tensai, and this is a singles match between the two. Tensai is a lot more rejuvenated now. I like him better, and he's showing a lot more of the Giant Bernard of old instead of the Hip Hop Hippo or A-Train or Albert or whatever you wanted to call him at this point. So, he comes off the ropes, a big clothesline on Brodus. We're midway through the match. We're almost at the end, actually. So he goes to the leaping back senton. He misses because Brodus knows him so well since they are former tag team partners. Big avalanche to the back was he's chest first against the buckle, and then he charges him with the avalanche while he is in against the buckle. So he nails him in the midsection. And then a headbutt off the ropes. Brodus has got the advantage. Big splash, 1-2. Tensai kicks out. Goes for another big splash on Tensai. And he comes off the ropes, and the music hits, and Xavier Woods comes out with the Funkadactyls. And, of course, that's a distraction, which allows for a roll-up from behind from Tensai, 1-2-3, and after the match is over, they end up taking over on Brodus. Brodus gets nailed with the honor roll from Xavier Woods, and I guess we're calling Xavier Woods now Mr. Steal Your Girl. So yes, that's pretty much what we're going to call him now, apparently. I like Xavier Woods a lot, and I'm really happy to see him getting a spot on the roster, to be totally honest. I like this a lot, and I think Tensai Rejuvenated is actually really good. Brodus Clay being a heel, I think that's a great idea, but I think you need to tweak the gimmick a little bit. And just like they said on the WNS podcast, bring back the dinosaur spikes, because they're really over with me. So, because the WWE Tag Team Championships are oh so important, and I'm not being sarcastic, I'm saying it as truth, because right now everyone's gunning for the tag team titles, which are currently held by Cody Rhodes and Goldust, which are now currently known as the Brotherhood. They're going to be taking on the Wyatt family in a non-title match. Of course, if the Wyatts would win this match, I would say that they're probably going to be high in contention for the championship somewhere down the line. Rumor has it they're going to be winning the championships in the next couple of weeks, maybe even before the Royal Rumble, so who knows what'll happen. They may win them at the... I think they're going to win them at the Rumble, to be totally honest. So we get Cody Rhodes and Goldust taking on Eric Rowan and Luke Harper of the Wyatt family. We go midway through the match, and Harper with the gator roll into the side headlock on Goldust, and Goldust punches his way out, tagging Eric Rowan. Rowan comes in with a big slam on Goldust, and an iron claw beels him out of the corner. Charges in, he misses, he gets whipped into the buckle hard, back elbow to Eric Rowan. So Harper knocks Cody off the ring apron so Goldust can't make the tag. Crossroads on Luke Harper, tagging to Cody. Cody comes in, ducks the clothesline, and a high knee lift, boot in, drop down uppercut. Springboard missile drop kick, as always, and the whip in reverse, tip up sunset flip, 1-2, and a kick out. Beautiful disaster on Luke Harper, and he goes up top for the standing moonsault, 1-2, and Rowan makes the save. So Goldust comes in, and they double suplex, it gets blocked, and he misses the clothesline. A double clothesline sends him over the top rope to the floor. Luke Harper goes over the top rope to the floor, and a big boot on Goldust on the floor. Bray shoves Cody into the ring post. Harper drags Cody into the ring. Discus Lariat, 1-2-3, and the Wyatts win this match. They pick up Cody for the sacrifice as normal. Daniel Bryan hits the ring with a steel chair, and he nails Harper in the ribs, and he nails Rowan in the side, and he double legs Bray Wyatt, and he starts working him over, and then he drop kicks Rowan off the apron, and we got ourselves a battle, folks. This Daniel Bryan Wyatt family feud will not end, and that is a good thing. I have complete faith this will happen. I'm going to go with, I don't know for a fact, I didn't read the Raw spoilers, but we're building towards Bryan, Cody, and Goldust against the Wyatt family in 6-man tag team action, either Monday Night on Raw or Thursday Night on SmackDown. So, Friday Night on SmackDown. I went like many years from the past there if I said that. Sorry. So, interesting to see what happens there. So we get a very, very short match up next between Damien Sandow and The Miz, who apparently is still a babyface. Thought he was a heel. Guess not. They decided to change their mind. So, 2 big clotheslines, old school expulsion. Miz clothesline gets stopped, and a kick to the hamstring. Figure 4 leg lock, and Sandow makes the ropes. Drags him in the middle of the ring. Sandow kicks him in the face and rolls him up 1-2-3, and Sandow steals the win. Sandow, of course, will be the bad Santa, not Billy Bob Thornton. The bad Santa against the good Santa of Mark Henry on Raw Monday Night. Yay for Gaga. So, Sandow wins the match. Okay. Fandango in action against Kofi Kingston. This match was actually really good. Really good short match between these two. So the springboard 180 into the drop kick, 1-2, and Fandango kicks out. Charges in, he shoves him off. Big clothesline, 1 count only on Kofi, and basically the repeated elbows to the chest raining down from Fandango. Whip in, catches the back elbow, 1-2, and a kick out. Kofi again kicks out. So Fandango with the chin lock. Kofi punches his way out, goes to the middle rope, and a knee drop misses. does Fandango, a charge misses again, and then the double chop, and the double chop, standing drop kick, and of course the leaping clothesline, and the boom drop sets up for trouble in paradise. Fandango ducks out of the way, and a big drop kick. He pulls, this is nice, he lands on the apron. Fandango pulls the leg and lands Kofi back first on the ring apron. He's half in the ring, half out of it. Fandango ascends to the top rope, nails the perfect 10 guillotine leg drop, and wins it clean. So, big win for Fandango. Really nice to see that he is going to be in contention for championships very soon. Who called it first? This guy. I know I said before the end of the year, but his concussion kind of ruined that. So, needless to say, I'd say before 2014 is over, Fandango will be a singles champion of some sort. Even if it's just a one-night reign, doesn't matter. He will be a singles champion, and he deserves to be. So Daniel Bryan is talking to Renee Young, or Renee Paquette, depending on who's calling your show. And Renee ends up walking out of the way, sees Luke Harper on one side, sees Eric Rowan on another side. Bray Wyatt comes out from the shadows, and the Wyatts mug Daniel Bryan, and of course, we could have been friends. And they take Bryan and they just toss him off the side of a ledge of it looked like a loading dock. And Bryan, of course, takes him out of the main event. Ashes, ashes, we all fall down. So yeah, again, continuing this storyline with the Wyatt family and Daniel Bryan, still getting Bryan to join the dark side, to follow the Buzzards. And I don't think that's going to happen. I still think it was pretty cool. Main event, The Shield now in a handicap match against John Cena and CM Punk. So, we go back to live action for the final commercial break. Cena gets whipped hard in the turnbuckle by Roman Reigns. Tag into Seth Rollins, he works Cena over, tag back into Ambrose, power drive elbow, 1-2, and a kick out. So he locks in a modified crossface chicken wing, and Cena with a backdrop suplex gets out of it. Tag into Roman Reigns, leaping stomp on Cena, and then the Superman punch with authority sends Cena down, pretty much cold-cocked him momentarily. Tagging to Seth Rollins, they wishbone Cena. Charging forearm on Cena in the corner by Rollins, 1-2 and a kick out. He misses the charge. Tagging to Ambrose. Ambrose comes in and a charging drop kick. He locks him up in the ropes and he hits the shots to the midsection and then the slaps and then he comes off the ropes. Then the front drop kick. 1-2, Cena kicks out. Tagging to Seth Rollins and he knocks Punk off the ring apron smartly. Cena catches him with the AA, gets countered into the leaping enziguri kick from Seth Rollins. So he puts him on the turnbuckle, climbs up, going for the superplex, and he gets blocked. 3 big headbutts by Cena, and tagging to Ambrose. Big tornado DDT by Cena on Dean Ambrose when he comes in to try to take over on John Cena. Tag into Seth Rollins, and a hot tag into CM Punk. Punk comes in, whip in, high leg lariat, and an axe handle on Roman Reigns. High knee while he's laying across the ropes, not in the corner as normal. And the tope to the barricade on Seth Rollins. Tosses him back in, and springboard clothesline. The running knee, the short arm clothesline, goes up top for the Savage Elbow. Sets up for the go to sleep. He lands on his feet and he gets caught, both Rollins and Ambrose, with a neck breaker DDT combo. 1-2 and again a kick out. So the Shield work Punk over and Cena ends up making the save. And of course the referee just throws it out at this point because he's done with it. And they triple powerbomb John Cena. And they go for the triple powerbomb on Punk. And pretty much it's all time for everything to happen. Who comes out to make the save? Big E Langston. He stares off right with Roman Reigns to set up a match that we all want to see. And he sends the Shield to powder, and that's the end of the show. So yeah, a good show for what it was. I would say that the opening segment was okay for what it was. Big E squashing Jack Swagger, okay. Brie Bella and Tamina continuing the storyline with AJ, that's fine. Unikar winning another match, this time against Drew McIntyre. Is he going to run the 3MB gauntlet? Probably. Sweet Tea beating Brodus Clay, which means Brodus is going to have to get some allies if he wants to continue this feud. Rowan and Harper beating the tag team champions was a great idea, and will lead to them winning the championship somewhere sooner rather than later. Sandow had to beat The Miz because obviously he's got to lose to Mark Henry on Raw. And The Miz still directionless, but he's a babyface again. Fandango wins a match over Kofi Kingston, beating Dolph Ziggler at TLC, which I didn't even get a chance to talk about. So Fandango's on a nice little push right now, which like I said will lead to his first singles championship in 2014. The Shield versus CM Punk and John Cena. Good main event, enjoyable main event. It would be nice if it would have been a 6-man. Bryan gets taken out with the Wyatt family. So, yeah, interesting to see where we go from here. So, Raw is taped Monday. I didn't read the results. And that will be your Festivus/Christmas edition of Raw Monday night. And then, of course, Black Friday 2, which is the day after Christmas, the Friday after Christmas, I guess in this case, is going to be this coming SmackDown. So that's going to be taken care of. So it'll be interesting to see where we go from here and where we go in WWE in 2014. So that's what I'm thinking, what's going to happen. So in the meantime, if you like these videos, tell your friends about them, leave a comment, do subscribe, and help spread the word about Pop. A lot of stuff coming in 2014. Gonna get the band back together. Gonna get Molly, Will, and Ben back on the channel on a regular basis now that a lot of things are out of the way, via 2013 finally being over. So a lot of really awesome content coming. New segments coming to the channel very soon as well, so stay tuned to this channel. If you want, there's 4 simple ways to get a hold of us. Number 1, if you want to help spread the word and you want to show you like us, you show you love us, then you're more than welcome to like us on Facebook. It's Sir Owen Disney Pop. If you want to become my friend on Facebook, I'll accept. It's Owen Disney. And if you want to tweet me, it's at Sir Owen Disney. And finally, if you want to send your thoughts, comments, queries, and opinions about me, about Pop, about wrestling, Disney, Universal, anything under the sun, you're more than welcome to send me a nice email, siroandisney@gmail.com. Wrestling fans, join us again on Tuesday for Raw. We're going to be talking Raw, and of course, Thursday or Friday for Impact. And of course, we're going to get to next week NXT and Smackdown. So a lot of stuff still to come. And we're going to get into the next, not this Impact, but the first 2 Impacts of January. You're going to see me there because I was in attendance. So we're going to talk about that and what's going to end up happening when AJ shows up wanting to take out the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. So a title unification match in the future. I know more than you do. Maybe. So needless to say, that will be coming up soon. In the meantime, thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And movie reviews coming in the next couple days. Universal's coming in the next couple days. Until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.